If you are sitting towards the first half of the cushion, so your pelvis kind of tilts forward, and if it's possible, have your knees touch the mat, and then your tailbone and the two knees would form a triangle, and that's very stable. If you are sitting on a chair, also have your feet firmly planted on the ground, and also sit towards the front half of the seat. So, with the back upright, shoulders roll back, open and relaxed. It's a great body posture to help concentrate our mind and also for the breath to flow most easily. Breathing in, I'm aware of my in-breath, or I get to know my in-breath. And as I am breathing out, I am aware of my out-breath. Just enjoy our breathing. We're going nowhere and doing nothing, and we're not waiting for anything to happen. We can just simply enjoy sitting still, befriending our breathing, befriending our body, and being a part of a beautiful community. Breathing in, I befriend my in-breath. Breathing out, I befriend my out-breath. Hello in-breath, hello out-breath. You may be able to feel the in-breath through your nostrils, your mouth, or perhaps the rise of your chest or your abdomen. And you also may feel your out breath through the fall of your chest and your abdomen. Just simply feel the breath as it flows in and out. Breathing in, I befriend my body. Breathing out, I smile and relax my body. Hello, my dear body. I know you're here for me, and I'm so grateful. Breathing in, I'm aware of the BIPOC friends surrounding me. Breathing out, I smile and open my heart to my BIPOC family. Aware of my BIPOC friends, feeling grateful that you are here with me and share this journey with me. Breathing in, I touch ease in myself. Breathing out, I touch ease being with my community. At ease in myself, at ease in my community. Dear beloved Thai, dear beloved family, you can gently open your eyes and then just quietly look around. Look at the person to your left, the person to your right. Yes, you can hold each other's hands too if you feel comfortable. You can look at the person in front of you, me, my brother, and also of the friends behind you, all around you. So whether we're black or Asians or Indigenous or Latinx, of all different races or mixed, some of us are darker skin, lighter skin, but we are one BIPOC family, and it's a great celebration. So I hope you carry this awareness with you during the next few days. It's rare and it's most wonderful, right? And thank you for helping to make it happen. This retreat is because you are. So this is our 20th year anniversary of the BIPOC retreat. In 2004, we had our first people of color retreat. And we have 2 OGs who cannot be here physically, who really want to be here. And they are Larry Ward. Many of you know him. Larry Ward, he is an elder in our community. And also Sister Kara Jewel. Sister Kara Jewel was a nun for at least 13 years in our tradition. Now she's a lay member, a lay Dharma teacher, and she teaches. She goes everywhere to teach. So they're very special to us, and we will have a chance to listen to them recounting the birth of the People of Color retreat, the first one, here at BIPOC Monastery. So let us enjoy one sound of the bell, and then we'll first listen to Brother Larry Ward, and then Sister Karaju will share after him.
Hello, dear friends. I'm sorry I can't be with you in person. I have a medical condition that doesn't allow that to occur right now, but I am getting better. This is a brief history, if you could call it that, of how the People of Color Retreat started with Ty and Sister Jewel at that time and several other friends. We had just completed a 3-week trip with Thich Nhat Hanh and monastics and other lay people in China. And we had been traveling to different monasteries, 1,000 years old, 1,500 years old, and practicing and learning with those community and sharing the Plum Village tradition at the same time. The day before, 2 days before we were to end our trip, we visited an orphanage in Beijing. And it had about 50 or 60 young people in the teens and up to early 20s. And it was my birthday. And so they all sang, "We Shall Overcome" in perfect harmony. And the next morning, I came down to breakfast, went over to Thai, and said, "I think it's time we do a People of Color retreat in the Plum Village tradition." And what he did, I'll never forget. He picked up his sleeve on his robe and pointed to his hand and said, "I am always doing a People of Color retreat." People just don't know it. And so we began the journey of preparing for the retreat. And why this was so important to me, I just want to say why this was an aspiration for me.
This is when you practice non-waiting. You just enjoy breathing and smiling.
This is a brief history, if you could call it that, of how the People of Color retreat.
We are okay with the audio too, right? Yes, so yeah, we are fine. Just have his picture on, if possible. We have more time to breathe and smile. Sister will change the computer. Our brother came early and prepared it, but you know things are impermanent. They have their own mind. So
of how the people of color retreat started with Thai. I'm sorry I can't be with you in person. I have a medical condition that doesn't allow that to occur right now, but I am getting better. This is a brief history, if you could call it that, of how the people of color retreat started with Ty and Sister Jewel at that time and several other friends. We had just completed a 3-week trip with Thich Nhat Hanh and monastics and other lay people in China. And we had been traveling to different monasteries, 1,000 years old, 1,500 years old, and practicing and learning with those community and sharing the Plum Village tradition at the same time. The day before, 2 days before we were to end our trip, we visited a orphanage in Beijing, and it had about 50 or 60 young people in the teens and up to early 20s. And they cooked the meal for us. They entertained us with their different artistic and athletic skills. And as we were leaving, I came out the front door and they were all standing in front of me. And unbeknownst to me, someone had told them this was my birthday. And so they all sang, "We Shall Overcome" in perfect harmony. And the next morning, I came down to breakfast, went over to Thai, um, and said, "I think it's time we do a people of color retreat in the Plum Village tradition." And what he did, I'll never forget. He picked up his sleeve on his robe and pointed to his hand and said, "I am always doing a people of color retreat. People just don't know it." And so we began the journey of preparing for the retreat. And why this was so important to me, I just want to say why this was an aspiration for me. Race is the tipping point, or ethnicity in colonial mind is the tipping point of our future as the human race. And that tipping point can only be transformed by the transcendence of the ego. And for me, that is where the practice of Buddhism and all it can offer, as well as other traditions that are about contemplation and wellness of the body and mind, can offer to help us understand that we can go deeper than race in defining ourselves. But that can't happen unless we can transcend the dominance of our own ego and selfishness. We have to do this in order to be able to understand humanity as a whole. And we have to be able to do this to understand the earth as a whole. And we also have to do this in order to understand that we are part of the cosmos as a whole. So otherwise, we are selling ourselves short of our miraculous lives. Thank you. After some years of our retreat, I wrote the book America's Racial Karma. I'm going to read you a poem from that book. I tell you, somebody stole my face. I can't seem to stop this river of tears. Black face on the ground, black face in cages. I tell you, somebody stole my face. When I found it, it was dark like the night in its elegant beauty. When I found it, it was in a dreadful theater called the white man's burden. When I found it, it was already condemned to live in a basket of lies. But when I found my hidden face, the window of eternity swung open. I tell you, somebody stole my precious face. I hold it in my hands, catching tears of sorrow and joy. I hold it with the kind hands of my ancestors. I hold it turning into many faces, appearing across time and space. I hold it dancing with the cosmos itself. I tell you, somebody stole my face, but I have a secret for you, my friend. Somebody stole your face too. I know you've been searching for it. Find your face. Find the ground of no coming and no going. Embrace yourself. Love yourself. Lift yourself up so that you can lift up all the rest of us to higher ground. And remember, when you touch your face, George Floyd can no longer have that joy.
Dear beloved Thai, dear community, I am so grateful for the chance to share a brief message with you on the occasion of the 20th anniversary of the very first BIPOC retreat in the Plum Village tradition, offered by Thai and the Sangha at Deer Park Monastery in 2004. It is truly an auspicious occasion, and I'm so privileged to have been part of the team that made that first retreat possible. I remember as a young nun, I was inspired when I learned of the BIPOC retreats at Spirit Rock and other Dharma centers, and wished we could do something like that. And in the US tours with Thich Nhat Hanh, on our retreats with thousands of people, it was mostly white. There weren't many BIPOC participants. We would have BIPOC Dharma sharing groups on these retreats, and it was always so healing and meaningful to be together in our affinity groups to share about our joys and sorrows, our experience as BIPOC folks in the US and practitioners of the Dharma. And we longed for a retreat that would welcome all of who we are, just as we are. So in 2003, we were on a teaching trip with Thai in China. At that time, Larry Ward, a woman named Barbara, I forgot her last name, and myself, we approached Thai to ask if he would offer a retreat for people of color. He looked at us and then pointed to his skin and said, "I am also a person of color." And he agreed. So we began getting out the word about the retreat, which we called Colors of Compassion. There was much excitement and support from all parts of the Sangha, from the monastics, those who are of BIPOC and also of white backgrounds, and from the lay communities, also of white and BIPOC backgrounds. I recall white folks being quite supportive in helping that first retreat to happen, both as staff, as monastics at Deer Park, as members of the wider Sangha. I remember putting up flyers in Harlem with Sister Susan about the retreat, and also Sister Susan and others would find relevant magazines and publications in LA communities of color where we could advertise the retreat. And I remember friends like Mei Fu and John Salunga, who were living in San Diego, helping to gather helpful information for the monastic Sangha. And together we made presentations on the history of racism in the US to get everyone on the same page about the needs and the particular experience of people of color, so that the Sangha could really welcome POC folks wholeheartedly and understand their suffering and their realities. We thought we might get 75 people, and we were going to be very happy with that. That was our aim. Well, when 400 plus people registered, we could hardly believe it. It is still to this day the largest Western Buddhist gathering of people of color, most of whom were convert Buddhists, meaning those not born as Buddhists, but there were also many Asian Buddhists who did grow up as Buddhists. Maybe we can say heritage Buddhists. But it showed us so clearly what a need there was for this kind of space, for this kind of safety and healing. And the retreat was phenomenal. It was full of joy, of vitality. It was quite unlike any of our other retreats. Thai's teachings were so deep, and they really met people where they were. We had never heard those kinds of teachings before because he had never given them to an audience like that. So it was the first time also that we created a Sangha ancestral altar where everyone came up and put their object connecting them to their ancestors on the altar. We rewrote the touchings of the earth to include all the many ethnic groups in the US so that we could honor them one by one with their own prostration. And then the be-in celebration at the end of the retreat was unlike anything we'd ever experienced. There was Native American chanting, Korean drumming, spoken word poetry, Brer Rabbit folktales, so much laughter, tears, and deep, deep love. Quite a few BIPOC people who are now pillars in our community entered our tradition at that retreat and have made the Plum Village community their spiritual home. After that retreat, more and more BIPOC began to attend retreats at Deer Park and other centers. In just a few years after the first BIPOC retreat, our Deer Park summer family retreat was 2/3 BIPOC, and it hadn't been that way before. A book was born from those first retreats called Together We Are One, honoring ourselves and our ancestors on the path. And it was compiled with Thai's talks to the BIPOC retreats. He asked me to edit those into a book, and he asked that Larry and I should also include a chapter of ours in that book. And then a film by Eloise de Leon, Colors of Compassion, came out of those first retreats. And then the community began to offer BIPOC retreats regularly, every other year, with Blue Cliff and Deer Park taking turns. And now I hear there may even be a BIPOC retreat in Plum Village in France. And then more books came that addressed the BIPOC experience, like Larry Ward's book, America's Racial Karma. And then the book Valerie Brown, Maricela Gomez, and myself published this year in February, Healing Our Way Home, Black Buddhist Teachings on Ancestors' Joy and Liberation. So the fruits of this retreat continue to grow and sprout in so many different ways. So I wish I could be with you in this 20th anniversary celebration, but unfortunately Maricela Gomez, Joe Riley, and myself were leading a BIPOC retreat actually the week just after, so it just wasn't possible for me to come out. But I wish with all my heart that you experience the deep, deep joy, the deep holding of Sangha, the feeling of belonging in this beautiful Dharma way, that you touch celebration and also the ability to grieve, to let the pain in your heart be seen, be held in community. I wish that you experience being beautiful as you are. And please know that all the practitioners of previous BIPOC retreats are with you, looking up at the Escondido Hills with you, savoring the brilliant night sky at Deer Park with you, listening to the howl of coyotes with you, and celebrating ourselves on the path. With each step you take, we are with you. With each breath you take in the meditation hall, with each bite you chew in the dining hall, we are with you, all of us, all over the planet. So thank you for continuing this lineage of BIPOC practitioners, and may there be many more BIPOC retreats, many more anniversary celebrations, and may many more BIPOC dedicated practitioners carry this tradition into the future. With much, much love, with deep honoring, with deep gratitude to the Sangha of Deer Park for hosting this anniversary retreat. All my love and deep respect of the most wonderful retreat possible.
Dear beloved Teacher Thai, dear beloved community, do you feel fulfilled? I feel very warm and very grateful for our elder brother and sister for sharing with us their words. I can feel their love and how much they want to be here. So my brother Mang Tuệ, fulfilled wisdom insight, Brother Fulfilled Insight. And I'm Sister D. We are here to share with you the basic mindfulness practices that help us to realize the theme of our retreat, nourishing our roots. How can we use the practice so that we can nourish our roots, so that we can be beautiful as we are? We can celebrate our beauty, like our sister just shared, to be ourselves, to be beautiful, and to find our true face, and the true face of our beloved, our ancestors, spiritual and biological. So to me, that's what the practice has enabled me to do, to realize. And we'd like to share with you about these practices tonight. So my brother will begin first with sharing the practice of listening to the bell and mindful breathing. So, dear brother, Fulfilled Insight, would you share with us, how do you practice it? What was your experience? Because I heard in our family today, there are actually almost 100 people who are new. How many of you are new? Please raise your hands. Yeah. Welcome to the family. So, how was it for you when you first started learning to practice, learning to come back to your breath, to listen to the bell? Was it difficult? Was it weird? You keep hearing about it all the time. What is it all about?
So, dear respected Thầy, dear spiritual and land ancestors, dear beloved communities, thank you for being there. Before I practice listen to the bell, actually I practice listen to my heart. Recently, I practicing to listen to my heartbeat a lot. Easy to have a nervousness or easy to sense it, to listen to the sound of my heart. That is, last few months I practicing that a lot, because what I feel, what I hear, is now, is present with me. For me, is a practice. We come together like this as a community. It's so wonderful to generate energy of mindfulness, and the energy of mindfulness is not only individual but as a collective. Strong, and that's why I really feel the retreats can help me to come back to myself more and nourish myself, and help me to feel that I'm not running anymore in the past and the future, because sometimes I have a habit of running, thoughts running in here. I think all of us have that kind of running thoughts. They talk about like radio, we call the NST radio. When I come here, and then, it's like, I don't know what to talk, what to share. Because it's very bored, easy to feel bored, like all the practices that we already know already, listen to the bell, mindful breathing. But for monks and nuns, ourselves, this is our life. We practice to recognize the NST, the non-stop thinking radio. That we run all the time. I run a lot. I run in about thinking about my heart's problem last few months. And I think about what could be wrong if that is stopping. The heart stop beating. So it's that worry, okay? And I forget breathe. So the practice of meditation is, first of all, help us to stop that kind of radio, stop thinking. Bell is a Dharma instrument, help us to do that very easy. Every time in the monastery, you hear the bell. We call the bell mindfulness. the chiming clock, and the bell here. We breathe a lot with the bell. So when the bell is rings, it looks like invitation for me to ask myself for the mantra, stop, breathe in, and breathe out. It's okay. You are alive. And actually, that is a practice help me not only happy, but help all monastics to come back to the present moment, to enjoy life. And we not practice like when the retreat come like this, and we practice every day. Because that kind of running thoughts happen every minute. The people recognize that we have 50,000 thoughts produced per day. And how can we manage and recognize it if we don't know how to learn how to stop and breathe and feel what is happening in the body first. So the bell, we call the bell of mindfulness. When we listen to the bell, we practice like this. Breathe in, listen, and breathe out. This wonderful sound of the bell bring me back to my true home. And then listen, breathe in. Breathe out. This wonderful sound of the bell bring me back to my true home. My true home is here and now. My true home is the present moment in this body, the island within. So there is a running horse in ourselves that we want to go into the future, and we are always present in the past. And then we forget something important, is the present moment. And then here, we sit in here together. And they said that present moment is important. The only moment that we can live fully and that we enjoy fully. And that moment is the key can open the past and the future to heal and to nourish. At first, I don't understand that one, but when I practice slowly, I feel really true. Because why is that? Because every day we live here. We breathe in and breathe out. The body is here, but your mind goes somewhere else. Your mind is somewhere else. And actually, when your mind is not in this body, you are not alive. You are a hungry ghost. You are the ghost, not the real body. Because actually, someone talk to you and you don't know who will talk to you. So they said that is the present moment is really the important moment that can build the future, can heal the past. So rather running every time, all the time, and practice to come back to your breathing. So when I practice into the bell, and I also practice mindful breathing, and then I feel like Bottom mantra is okay. Actually, you are alive right now. Your heart is still beating. When your heart cannot beat anymore, that is not good. Even if it beats fast, but it's still beating. You are alive. And I just offer a smile to myself. Okay, yeah, like that. Wonderful. And then I feel like I can breathe and I can relax more, I can smile more, and give me the wonderful things. It's the sensation of freshness, sensation of truly presence. I know that I'm alive, no matter it's fast or slow. And then I don't think anymore. So that kind of breathing helped me to anchor my mind with my body, with my heart. So when I enjoy my mindful breathing, I can put my hand on my tummy, right? You can do that now. So this is essential of the body. Breathe in, and you feel your tummy, your lower abdomen rising, expanding. Breathe out, the lower abdomen is falling. In is rising, out is falling. You feel your body is alive. Just follow your breathing. Not control, not force yourself. Breathing in, I calm my mind. Breathing out, I smile. Breathing in, dwelling in the present moment. Breathing out, this is a wonderful moment. So during this retreat, you can forget everything. You don't need to remember anything. But don't forget your breathing. The breathing is the key. So that's why they said that is whenever you hear the bell, different bells, even the telephone, you come back to yourself, stop, do anything. You are doing anything, put it down. Follow in breath and out breath 3 times, okay? And then you could practice with the gatha, listening to the bell. And when you follow your breathing, you practice following your breathing, you also practice with the gatha. Breathing in, I calm my mind, don't worry. Breathing out, I smile, my heart still beating. Breathing in, dwelling in the present moments. Breathing out, this is a happy, this is a wonderful moment. Because we don't know we can live long in this planet Earth. But this moment, I'm alive. I can breathe in and out. So the breathing help you to anchor your mind and body, and you can recognize that you are here and now. You can nourish the energy of mindfulness of the body. And that mindfulness energy is strong. You can cultivate energy of concentration. And you don't, not easy to go to the past and the future. You don't worry about what is happening next. And then to realize that it's so wonderful. It's so wonderful to breathe in that way. And then the worries, all answers gone. And you feel your breathing, you feel the body. And then you realize that it's okay. Like the things happening, usually in life is 100% you want to happen, belong to you, like very well to you, it's just only 1%. Happen according to your wish. And then you get angry all the time, and you don't feel happy. But rather you should breathe with that. Like at the beginning, something happening not according to us, we need to breathe in and out. And that is okay after that. So breathe with life, whatever happening. Thank you so much for your listening. And I would like to ask Sister D. Actually, I don't know what to ask you. But Sister D, I think you are excellent to practice 5 manner. And one of the 5 manner is beautiful, actually the posture of sitting. You know, Thầy see the image of the Buddha sitting very peaceful, and he inspired to become a monk. So Sister D, sitting meditation is very wonderful and important practice in our tradition. So do you have experience to share with us? How can we enjoy sitting meditation so that during this retreat, we have the most valuable time together in this hall?
Dear beloved family, I must admit that before I became a nun, I hardly ever practiced sitting meditation. I had a partner who enjoyed sitting meditation, so I would sit next to him just to wait for him finishing his sitting. But as I became a nun, I learned to sit, and what I've discovered is that sitting meditation is to learn to be my own soulmate. In Vietnamese, there's the word soulmate, tri kỷ, and tri means to remember, to know, to take care of, to master, and kỷ, it means oneself. I never knew that. I always look for somebody else to be my partner, to be my soulmate. And even though they came along, like that particular partner, he was really, truly loving, loyal, present, very spiritual. But after a while, I couldn't really be there for him anymore. I turned my back to him so that I could curl up with my own suffering, because it was all I knew all my life. So I have learned that every morning when we sit, every evening when we sit together as a community, and slowly, anytime, anywhere when I sit, I am learning to meet my soulmate within myself, to remember first and foremost my breathing, to befriend my breathing, to get to know my breathing, because my breathing reflects my state of mind. When I'm at ease, I breathe differently. When I'm angry, my breathing pattern changes. When I'm sad, I sigh like that. When I'm sick, my breathing becomes quite rapid and shallow, right? And as a doctor, I also learned that when people are dying, the breathing pattern changes. You can listen to the breathing and you know how much time the person has. And so to be our soulmate, first and foremost to our breathing, we get to know our mind. And then to be a soulmate to our body, to sit upright, open our shoulders and relaxed, to befriend our body. Now, on the superficial level, we may have a black body, a yellow body, a brown body, a white body, a mixed, color body. But really, deep inside, it is a body. Most of us, 99.999%, we have a heart on our left side, a liver on our right side, and all the anatomy of the blood vessels, the arteries, the veins, they're pretty much identical. So I learned to befriend my body and cherish it, this life force, this friend that is most loyal, most loving, most forgiving. Our practices are very body-based. We leave this top part which pulls us away in thousands of directions, the non-stop thinking radio, to come back to the body. So in sitting meditation, my brother can help me to demonstrate it. Is it okay? Or do you sit on a chair, just to a little bit on the side? Okay, my brother will use a mat and cushion. So if we can sit on the floor, There's the mat and there's the cushion, and we call them Dharma instruments. So you see that my brother, move them with his both two hands, body and mind coming together. We show respect for material things like the mats and cushions, physical things, because they help us to be our own soulmates, to get to know ourselves, to take care of ourselves. And we sit down. Before we sit down, we often take a moment to breathe, to join our palms again, body and mind coming together. I breathe in, and as I breathe out, I bow down. That is a moment of just complete silence. Just turn off the radio. And then we sit down on the front half of the cushion. And some of us, whether we are taller or shorter and different body sizes, so we need to also experiment. Maybe a lower cushion or a higher cushion. Sit in such a way that we form a triangle. 3 fingers. Okay, so we have our tailbone and we have 2 knees that they form a triangle, and it's a very stable position. Yeah, and you see the knees, so the 4 lotus is when one leg crosses to the other thigh and the other leg to the other thigh, the opposite thigh. So you can see that, you can see both feet up like that. That's 4 lotus. Don't try it right away if you've never done it. It's quite painful. It took me a while to get there. And you need to stretch before you go to sitting too. When you touch the earth, you just stretch your small back, your whole body. That also helps. Okay? That's the 4 lotus. And then a half lotus is, instead of having 2 legs crossed upon each other, just one leg is over. And the other one is underneath, tucked under. So that's half lotus. So that's a little easier that you can try. Okay? Sometimes you sit and you feel your knee is up in the air and it cannot come down. Like as a 3 points, that's okay. Then maybe you can have like a little smaller pillow to put under the knee so that it's stable for you. Okay? So that's a half lotus. Okay? And you notice my brother's back is very straight, upright. A body can help the mind. If the body is upright, open, the mind is also upright and open. If the body slouches in very awkward position, the mind can also be quite crooked. Yeah? So if you want to straighten up your mind, just straighten up your body. Not to stiffen it, but to have it in an upright, relaxed, open position. That brings the mind back to concentration. So we learn the 4 lotus, the half lotus. Now, if that's still difficult, then we have 2 legs parallel to each other. Yeah, just one in front of the other. So that's okay too. Anything that is not a 4 lotus or half lotus, our teacher, we call him Thai, which means teacher in Vietnamese, very endearing term. He calls that a chrysanthemum position. Anything that is not lotus, 4 lotus, or half lotus is chrysanthemum. Chrysanthemum is also beautiful. Okay? So parallel, or we can have 2 legs like back. Mm-hmm. Yes. So that's like a Japanese style. Back, and that's good too. Yeah, and then you also need to adjust the cushion, sometimes higher, sometimes lower, or some people may sit on a bench. Yeah? Are there other, or both legs on one side, to the side. Can you do that? Yes, yes. That works too. When my legs are very tired, I just kind of bend them both to one side. you know. So on a chair, yes. So when you wish to sit on a chair, it's the same thing. The most important is that our body is stable, upright. So we also sit towards the front half, our feet on the ground, and we also still form 3-point, right, with our legs and our body, and open our shoulders like that. Just the body posture alone can already affect the mind positively or negatively. It depends on how we hold our body. And in sitting meditation, first thing we do is to bring the mind back to the breath and then to the body, always. If we think we sit down and go into meditation right away, we are fooling ourselves. The mind just either takes off until the end of the sitting, or you actually just fall asleep right away. Because the mind is like a fan. It runs very fast. Suddenly you push the stop button, it's not going to stop. It still has to go through its momentum. So that's why many of us, when we sit down, we immediately fall asleep, or we think the whole way through. So we need to practice 2 elements. Like a bird that has 2 wings, one wing of meditation is stopping, and the other wing is deep looking. Stopping means stopping the mind from just running backward to the past or forward to the future, or getting lost in the projects, the things that we need to take care of. So we need to bring it back to the here and the now, and the breath helps us because the breathing is dynamic. Every single breath is new, is different. And if we can anchor the mind to the breath, the mind it's like a boat that you anchor it to the shore. Then even though it wobbles, but it's not lost out there in the sea of thoughts and feelings. So we anchor, we bring it back. So tomorrow in sitting meditation, actually, we have the ancestral ceremony, but all of our activities will begin with sitting. We always bring it back to the breath, to befriend our breathing, to be our soulmate to our breathing, and then bring it to the body. Establish the mind in the breath and in the body. That is stopping. Only then there is true deep looking. In stopping, there is deep looking. In deep looking, there must be stopping. So sitting meditation is to be a soulmate to ourselves. Stopping running to come back, to be with ourselves, with our body, our breath, our thoughts and feelings, and we learn to be comfortable with them as they are. It's okay, I hear you. Or we can say, I'm here for you. Please talk to me. Let me know why you get so upset, why it hurts so much in my body or in my thoughts, in my feelings. Why does it bother me so? You just pose a question. You're curious, open. You want to know. And you stay with your breath and your body, anchored in that. And just allow this deep wisdom to speak to you. It may be felt through the sensations of your body. You may hear yourself thinking, talking to you. You just simply listen. or it just may be silence. We don't always get the answer in sitting, but we sit there to listen. Just like when we plant a seed, it doesn't just sprout, right? It takes time, but we need to plant the seed, and we need to water the seed with the energy of awareness. And then somewhere when we do walking, an insight will arise. Maybe a few days later, when we are cooking, an understanding will come to us. So we till the ground when we make time to just sit quietly and befriend our body and our breathing. And we just pose a question. We open ourselves up to ourselves, to the child from within, and develop a connection with ourselves. Okay? So with that, let us enjoy our mindful breathing. Hello in breath. Hello out breath. And remember to smile. A smile relaxes the whole body. Thầy also said, if you don't feel like smiling, just do yoga smiling anyway. Just stretch your mouth. Okay. I'll ask you about walking meditation, right? So we had a retreat in Toronto at the university. I think, was it? Yeah. Or actually at the university in Vancouver with our teacher Thai, and there were more than 700 of us. And we were walking by this stadium. And, you know, in walking meditation, we walk slowly and some people look down. And so a man, he walked by and he asked somebody next to him, he said, did we lose the game again? I overheard that, so I had to chuckle. So it's misunderstood sometimes by passerbys, yeah. So how do you practice walking meditation? I mean, we have so many things to do. Come on, you know, important things to do. Why would you want to walk slowly, even mindfully? And what's all the hype about it anyway?
So one time I heard Brother Phap Dung, he's over there. He shared about a lot of people slowly come to Burmese tradition and practice like this is not good for economy. Totally not good for economy because we do everything slow. And we just sit there, do nothing, and walk very slow, do nothing. People say that time is money. We need to be rich. So it's like, that's what I heard one time Brother Phap Dung said that is Burmese tradition, not good for economy in US. So I think because we know we are have enough. One day we don't have two legs, we cannot walk. Even we have billions dollars in the pockets, we cannot walk. I remember Thầy on a wheelchair, but sometimes he feel the sunshine is beautiful. He asked the attendant push him slowly, but he used his hand like this. It looked like he touched the earth. And also he do like this. If you like, you see, life is beautiful. So his practice, his message is very clear. Walking meditation actually not about the time, but about life. To enjoy life. So sometimes we see that we don't have a time. So for me, walking meditation is nourish my joy and my peace and connection to the earth. In this retreat, we call the topics about the theme about nourish nourishing our roots. So you can nourish your roots is the Mother Earth. When you walk in such a way that you are kissing the earth, that's Thầy, our teacher said. You walk in such a way that you reconcile between yourself and your ancestors. You walk in such a way that you feel home with your steps. So you don't need to run anymore. You don't need to go over there to have happiness. But actually, when you take one step, you feel peace and you feel joy right away. So that is the purpose of walking slow, but actually it's very meaningful. I think every practice of ourselves, we practice together with the Sangha, is we cultivate the energy of collective mindfulness. So the energy that can deliver a lot of healing. So healing and nourishment of every steps can be happening every time you do walking meditation. So you can walk, release tension from the body, breathe in. You take 1 or 2 steps, you can say, I have arrived. Arrived. I don't need to run anymore. And then breathe out. Home, home, home. It means home is right here and right now. And home, our BIPOC community is so vast, including Mother Earth. So when you feel the Mother Earth smiling with you, and you're smiling with her, and you feel, I am home, Mother Earth. I don't need to run to the future. I'm stop my thinking. I feel the earth with me, and I feel so wonderful. You see? So that's why it's healing happening when the time to take steps. So walking slow, but you make like you can take 1 hour or 2 hours, and people say that you waste your time, and you can say, no, I don't waste my time. I produce life for myself. So you have 24 hours, you get money, but you lose your life. You are a hungry ghost. You're running all the time, and you worry, you live in fear. So every steps of walking meditation, so you can feel at home. So the rhythm of the step can be 2, 3. Like you can say in, out, out, out. Or you can say silently, arrived, arrived, home, home, home. Okay? Sometimes we practice a while, your rhythm of the breath, your time of steps maybe increase a little bit more. Let's say 3, or 3, 4. So recently I missed my father again. So whatever my body have problem, I just thinking about him. So recently I do walking meditation. I practice 3, 3 with my father. So I can say like this. I breathe. I breathe lightly. And then I walk freely. And then I say, Father, breathe lightly. Breathe out. Father, breathe, walks freely. So I walk, I breathe. My Father in me walks and breathes at the same time. So you can do like that during this retreat. Any your beloved ones, your ancestors in yourself, even passed away or still alive, you walk with them. So that is nourishing roots right away with your steps. Even some of them, at first you feel like, how can I ask my father walk freely? But actually, you walk freely first. You smile and then you breathe lightly, and later on, your father or your mother inside of yourself feel free and light. So that is the art of practice, walking meditation, healing and nourishing your beloved one. So dear Sangha, hopefully you don't feel bored, huh? All the practices that we share here, a little bit like a discipline, like something, like a rule, something. But when you practice together with the Sangha, with the community, it's more relaxed. So sometimes you can feel like you run, you walk a little bit too fast, and you see Sister D. She walk very slow. So Sister D is the bell of mindfulness. Help you to stop thinking, and then you walk slower. Okay? So when you do something, and then you see Padmanto is smiling, and then you can see him smiling, and then you about talk or do something, and I feel like, oh, okay, that is a bell of mindfulness. So Padmanto is smiling is a bell of mindfulness for you to stop, and you can breathe in and out and smile. So that is it's very helpful in the retreat that we do walking together, we do sitting together, we do everything together to really remind each other. So you don't need to remember all the details, but I think every day you experience yourself, you experience with the Sangha, and that's why the practice can help you to nourish and to heal. So in order to heal with the Mother Earth, I think there is one practice very wonderful. I just remember that is touching of the earth. So I think I asked Sister D can help us to share how can we practice this beautiful touching of the earth. That a lot of people, they're thinking about touching of the earth is like touching the Buddha. The religious posture or something about prayer, something out there, you need to believe it. We need to pray for something. But how can we practice in such a way that can heal our inner child inside of us with the touching of the earth? So listen to the bell, and then Sister D will share with us.
Dear ones, we used to call it prostration. In most Buddhist traditions, we call it prostration. But then our teacher changed it to touching of the earth. And it is very deep and appropriate. And touching of the earth, in truth, is that we always touch the earth, right? In whichever body position we're in, whether we're sitting, standing, walking, or lying down, we're always touching the earth. So in that way, in walking meditation that my brother should share with you, that is touching the earth, kissing Mother Earth. And there's this one practice in particular is to bring our body down to the earth. And my brother will give us a demonstration in a minute. Lucky me. We didn't plan it this way, but my mother, I never really knew my father. He's supposed to be an American GI, and so I was born to a Vietnamese mother and to an American GI father. And my mother, she disappeared when I was 12 years old. So my grandmother actually raised me. And I always felt as an orphan, and I always felt estranged from Vietnam. I was born in Vietnam, but I never really felt that was my home. My brother is also Amerasian, means mixed. He looks more white than me, and I look more Asian. And in Vietnam, as we were growing up, we were discriminated against. He got beaten up a lot as a child, and I passed as a Vietnamese kid, but it was painful to see my brother being beaten up every day. So, and I came here and we couldn't speak English. And in Vietnam, they call my brother Mỹ Tây Lai, means mixed American. But we came here, one day the principal called my foster parents and said that he got into a fight. And I was so upset. I said to my brother, you know, you fought all your life in Vietnam. Why would you do that here? We came here for a better future. And he said, in Vietnam, they call me mixed American, and here they call me VC, means Việt Cộng, communist. And so he got so angry, and he got into a fight with them. And when I heard that, I said, beat the out of them. I was so angry, you know. So I really didn't feel I belong anywhere for many, many years of my life until I became a nun when I turned 31. And slowly I learned to find my true mother, and that is the earth. When I sit, she's holding me. When I walk, she's holding me. Wherever I am, whatever I'm doing, when I have that element of stopping and deep looking, I feel this is the true mother, my mother, the mother, of my grandmother, of all my biological and spiritual ancestors. Mother Earth has given birth to all of us. And so in that way, I find a mother who is so embracing, so forgiving, always so present in Mother Earth. And that has healed me a lot. I don't feel that I'm an orphan anymore. So this particular practice, my brother will do a demo. We usually, when we hear the bell, you will hear a wake-up sound. That is to let us know a full sound is coming, okay? And then before we invite the sound, so maybe you can look at the family first. You see the two hands joined together, 5 fingers come together beautifully, like a lotus flower at the chest level. You can all practice too, okay? And then we raise that to our forehead level. This is where we revere our ancestors. It's a sacred place, our forehead. Yeah? Body and mind together. And then we slowly bring it down to our chest, our heart level. You bring it down to this place of love, compassion, that we are real. Yeah? And then you release your hand slowly, like that, to the side, and then come down slowly on the earth. Yeah? And then we touch the earth. The head is 1 point, the 2 hands, 2, and then the 2 knees, 5-point position. And you notice as my brother comes down, his hands open. Open up the palm like this. This is to say, Mother Earth, I come back to you. I release all my pain, all my tension. I release it to you. Help me transform it. Mother Earth, I'm not a separate individual. I'm not a separate self. I come back to you. Every morning before sitting, I always touch the earth. And I just feel myself coming back to the earth. I visualize the core of the earth. And I'm going back. Each day, each moment, with mindfulness, I go back to the earth. So I touch that love, that comfort, that embrace. My brother can stand up slowly. And so you close your hand, you push yourself up gently, and you stand up. Thank you, brother. So when I touch the earth in my daily life with my sitting, walking position, lying down, and then as I prostrate in that position of touching the earth, not only I touch love, but I also cultivate non-fear. Every moment I go back to the earth. My body, the skin cells, everything about me slough off and go back to the earth. And so in that way, I am coming back to Mother Earth each moment. And as my body goes through aging, goes through illness, and I am dying each day, I don't feel afraid. There's non-fear in me because I practice coming back to Mother Earth each day. I entrust myself to the earth, and she entrusts herself to me. That would be my mantra. I do that every day, even when I do hula hooping. One spin, I entrust myself to the earth. And she entrusts herself to me. The whole time I exercise, I should say that. So I'm coming home every moment and I release all the sadness, anger, the angst to the earth. And that's my home, my mother. And I can come back to her tonight if I don't wake up in the morning, I am at peace. I'm not afraid of all, at all. And that is most comforting and liberating to me. Let us enjoy a sound of the bell. So dear Brother Mang Tue, would you share with us about eating meditation? And I know that this is a BIPOC retreat, but in our monastery, we also have many of our brothers and sisters and lay friends who are non-BIPOC. And they have graciously offered to take a step back, to yield, to share the space for us. And they volunteer to cook all 3 meals, to make fresh bread every day. And also there are friends who help do the construction for the monks' residence. So they will come to they cook the meal, they serve with us, and then they will eat in one place, a separate place. So would you share with us about this, how do we practice eating that we can nourish both the body and the mind, that we can cultivate gratitude to Mother Earth, to all beings. Thank you.
So for me, we have 3 meals a day we eat together. It's so powerful to see we eat together in silence as a community. For me, I remember I become a husband at an age very young, like 14 years old. But before that, my memories about my family is dinner. Like I remember because we live in the countryside, that my mom and my dad working in a rice field, And then me, my brothers and sisters, we go different schools, like elementary school or high school. And then we wait until dinner evening. We come together, everybody at home, and then my mom serve dinner together. So we sat outside the veranda with the straw mats. I think about this time, and we eat dinner together is so beautiful, so nourishing. Just on the dinner that everybody come together, because at noon or breakfast we go different school. So when I grown up, I remember that it's a time for family together. And we eat and feel so joyful. When I become a monk, I still feel nourished by that kind of togetherness. But in our society, so busy. You know, we have 3 meals a day, but somehow we don't have a time to eat together. We eat and then we walk and then we eat. We have telephone and then we eat and we run. All the time I see all the students, they eat and they run to the school. So eating can be eating meditation, mindfulness of eating. So every time you hear the bell, right, we have 3 tables to come to stand and serve our food and practice non-waiting. And then we practice stopping, and we practice breathing, and we practice smiling. So in that time, you just, sometimes practice no talking. Silence can be very deep to communicate by your eyes and your smile. To see that, wow, we are so lucky, huh? We have a food to eat. I remember one time, me and Brother Nhật Hướng, we go out for a doctor appointment, and we come back late, so we stop we have a lunch, and there was one, BIPOC man, black man, he's homeless, so he came inside to just ask for water, but we know that, and then we come out, we have extra food to bring home, and my brother saw him, and he just bowed like this, and we give food to him, and he just bowed us, and he just smiled. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. And he bowed, and we sit down, and one moment he closed his eyes, he touched the food, and he ate with a lot of happiness. Somehow that day he had food to eat. And that moment brought my brother tears, because because he wait that after we finish the food, 1 hour. So we come out, and then we give food to him, and he just sat there, he ate. So wonderful, and so he touched the food first, and with the one moment silent, and then he ate. So it means now today we have food to eat, it means thousands of people out there, they don't have food to eat. So we eat in such a way, when you stand in line, and we recognize that I have food to eat. So you feel grateful right away. So to practice gratitude when you stand in line. And I hope we can put the 5 contemplation actually at the serving area, so you can see that 5 contemplations, so we can get what we need. Usually sometimes we get too much, and then when we read 5 contemplation, oh, no. Yeah, look like we get too much, and we can kind of finish food on the plates. But the things to practice is you get what you need, but a little bit less that you can finish. For example, you can eat 100%, get 70%. And then when you get your food in silence, and go into the dining hall first, if the dining hall is full, and then outside dining hall, find a place of table or a chair to sit down, and wait for the bells. So for breakfast, dinner, we start for 3 sound of the bells. For lunch, 3 sound of the bell and 5 contemplations. And then we eat 20 minutes in silence. So 3 things you can contemplate. First, you sit down and you look at the food, and you recognize that what is in there. It's carrots, there is broccoli. So wonderful. Thank you for being there, within and out. Have a relationship between you and the food. Okay? They nourish you. Second, to look who is sit with me. Yeah? But I mean, you don't need to say, but you just say like, you can bow and you can smile to her and to him. Recognize that, thank you for sit near me or sit in front of me, you know. And the third, you can recognize that who nourishes you, make this food. The universe, the earth, all the non-BIPOC monastics cook this food for you. The farmers, the earth, all the elements nourish you. So the eating meditation can be very healing and nourishing right away when we have 20 minutes eating in silence in that way. And thinking about people who don't have food to eat. So you eat, you cultivate compassion and send peace and joy to that person. And after so during the 20 minutes of silence, don't stand up, okay? You don't die if you lose, you don't have soy sauce. Sometimes I stand up and then brothers, no, I just forget soy sauce. It's okay, you have so many things in here. And then some of the people, they forget the chopsticks also, but you have a spoon. Anyway, so when thinking about what you need to get, and then sit down, not stand up. Before 2 bells, after 20 minutes, okay? So this is a challenge. Please remember that. Challenge how many mistakes you made during these 5 days. I guarantee you, some of you will stand up, huh? But this is a practice to cultivate fully a practice of eating meditation. And after 20 minutes, 2 bells, announcements. And of course, you can talk after 2 bells for lunch and dinner, but not for breakfast. Breakfast, we will practice noble silence until after finish washing up. So that is the practice of eating meditation. I think I will need to share short, so we have more practices. So let us listen to this other bell, or one other bell. Today we will share more about how can we practice mindful service and etiquette and electronics.
Dear ones, we will have a chance to offer service, mindful service to the Sangha. So pretty much after breakfast, we will have a time to help wash pots or do toilet cleaning. What else? To clean the meditation hall, to set the cushions and mats, and use that as an opportunity to practice. I found that it's actually the most difficult practice because our sense of self is very much tied to our work, our title. So in that way, a lot of pressure, stress, the energy of competitiveness may arise. It's a habit. Am I good at it? Do people appreciate what I do? I have to prove myself. So in that way, in the monastery, we learn to practice, again, nowhere to go, nothing to do. So although we're walking, we're not running. We are arriving every moment. And similarly, when we're doing the work, we are enjoying it. We come back to the breath, we work in silence, mostly, and from point A to point B, however short or long the distance is, we can still practice walking meditation. And then that's when we really hear our own thoughts. Like, oh, I don't do this right. Oh, do I, we doubt ourselves, or we compare ourselves with others, or we say, oh, I gotta get this real fast, done fast so I can do other things. All of those habits, we hear them, we see them, and we just breathe and smile and just enjoy doing one thing at a time. So there's a study with the title is, a distracted mind is an unhappy mind. And they found that people, whatever work they're doing at the moment, when they are stopped to ask, how are you feeling in this moment? And what were you thinking while you're doing that task? Then they found out that It doesn't matter what you do, whether you like the task or not. If you're daydreaming, multitasking something else, most of the time you report you're not happy in that moment. But if you're doing that task, however mundane, boring, or you dislike it, but if you are just present with it, actually people report that they feel at ease, they feel happy. So that's why it came the title, A Distracted Mind is an Unhappy Mind. And our society values multitasking, and may I tell you that is a myth. There's no such thing as multitasking. Your mind just does A, it jumps to B, it goes to C, it goes back to A, it goes to C to A. So multitasking is a setup for unhappiness and dissatisfaction because we don't do anything well or we don't really complete anything well. Then we have to redo it. We go back to it again and again. And so in that way, learning to do one thing at a time and do it well and being happy and truly present is very beneficial for us. And that's when we also learn to have more confidence from within, not from the title or the position that we have, but actually that confidence comes from the ability to be present for ourselves in our body. Talking about being, feeling confident and also feeling beautiful. The practice, I go to mindful manners. The practice helps us feel that we are enough, that we are beautiful. Even before when I wore, nice clothes, expensive clothes, but I never felt really at ease in my body. So during the pandemic, one day I went to a supermarket with my sister who's sitting. I think I was crossing that, at that moment I was crossing the road alone. I don't know where was she, ahead of me or behind me, I'm not sure. But at a T, a car was pulling up at a stop sign and I was right there, just a little bit over an arm stretch away. This full-grown man, from his window, he screamed. And given I had this brown hat with a very big rim, I had sunglasses on, dark sunglasses, I had a mask on, it was like at the height of the pandemic. And then I had this brown robe on. So, however I look, you can imagine. And he screamed out of his window, "You look scary!" I stopped like that. And then, just slowly, I unmasked myself. And I smiled and I said, "Actually, I'm quite good looking." And I tell you, the man was stunned. And he just spat away. And I told you earlier how I grew up feeling very alienated from my own people, from my own motherland. I never felt I belonged, and I never felt enough. Certainly never felt beautiful or good looking. But it's the practice of just taking my time when I walk and really not paying attention what people are thinking of me. Because I'm a soulmate to my breath, and my breath is my soulmate to me. I just walk. Just day after day, I learn to dwell from within. And that sense of wholeness, of beauty that I never had before. So that in that moment, I couldn't have planned on it, right? But it just happened. I wasn't hurt by that man's harsh words. Before, it would have hurt me so much. I don't know what would I do, whether I would just freeze, or I would run, or I would say back something mean. I don't know. But in that moment, I wasn't hurt. And my response was something that didn't cause trauma to myself. And I could immediately smile as he ran away, you know? And I'm sure he would remember it too. He would think about it twice next time when he would say that an unkind thing to somebody else. So to me, that energy of mindfulness, I don't want to say it arms us because it sounds violent, but it protects us. It enables us to feel that wholeness, that beauty, that enoughness from within, so that nobody's words or actions can hurt us. And I think that is very freeing. It's very liberating. So I do wish that you practice mindful manners in that way. Just take your time to walk, take your time to sit, take your time to eat. It makes you beautiful. And also, when we come to the monastery, we often address the community as beloved community or beloved family. So allow yourselves to be a part of the family. Treat each other in that spirit. It's very healing for ourselves and for each other. And some of us may have of a habit more than others, but usually when we meet, we may think, oh, this person is attractive. Could this be the one? Especially, you hear a person share so deeply, or, you connect so well in the Dharma sharing and things. Just breathe and smile. Let that go, okay? This is a place when we come to be our own soulmate. We gotta be our own soulmate first, okay? Remember, a soulmate is one who remembers, knows, takes good care of, and master oneself, not somebody else. So do remember that. Help us. But if by chance you do feel uncomfortable by somebody's words or behaviors, you feel it's not kind, it's not appropriate, then do let us know. Okay, we want to protect this space, and all of us create this space and protect this space. But it happens sometimes. So I'd like Juliet, they are happiness inspectors. Juliet, please stand up, my dear. And also Sister Peace. Again, 2 OGs that you will get to know. Okay? Are you here, Sister Peace? She just stepped out? Okay. So 2 of them, if you feel something is not right, not appropriate, you're not comfortable with, you can go to them. Sister Peace will give the talk tomorrow, so you know who she is, and that's Juliet. Or you can come to any monastics, any monks or nuns, and let us know. And we will address it. Trust me. Okay? So, so help us. Okay? And with that, I will ask my brother to share a little bit. Wow, this runs late. We really go into detail, huh? My brother will share about noble silence. One last thing. Please, my dear, electronics. Do minimize the use of electronics. If you can leave them, turn them off, leave them in your tents or the dorms, that will be best. Just take a break. Go offline, be on life. I came up with that one, by the way. Yes, but if you are so attached, you cannot be away from it. Anytime when you go to an activity with the community, with the Sangha, please turn it off. Yes, so that would be very, very helpful. Okay, my brother will share about noble silence.
So, dear Sangha, so we're running late, 5 more minutes. I hope tonight we can we can learn all the practices, and after you come out of this hall, you forget everything. But I think another practice is very easy to remember is silence. This is the way that you can cultivate practicing with your own soulmates, that Sister D just shared. To take care of yourself, to rest well, and to observe your thoughts. So silence, we call the noble silence, is a practice. Because sometimes we want to be silent, but it's noisy in here. Practice of noble silence is mean quiet your mind inside. And also no talking. Observe your body moving so that you can respect the space in your roommate, your roommates, but at the same time to cultivate the energy of inside yourself. So one time they said that when we are silent inside, awareness can easily to penetrate into the soul of the soul. So offer space for yourself to rest and to really observe what is going on in yourself, your mind. Before you go to bed, you can lie down and you follow your breathing. So after these activities, we can practice that noble silence. It means we don't need to talk, don't need to ask anything, just quietly walking back to your home or to the room, and then also do everything quietly, and then observe what's going on during the day. The tiredness, okay, I hold on. Breathe in, I aware about that. Breathe out, I release it. So you have more space and time to observe your body, and then the resting can happen very easy for you. And when you know how to rest, and healing can be happen quickly. No resting, no healing. So that's why when you're lying down, you can put on your tummy, your hands, and then you can slowly do deep relaxation. And then you go into deep sleep, okay? Noble silence until tomorrow morning, okay? When you wake up, you do your stuff, go bathroom, brush your teeth, you do walking meditation down here, also noble silence. And then you go to breakfast, noble silence. After wash your dishes, after breakfast, and then you can talk. So your talk and your speech in that time can be very valuable. Sometimes we talk too much. Sometimes we talk something like not according to what we need to speak out. Sometimes we talk because we habit energy. So sometimes we stop talking and then we can observe so that we can use our speech better. Okay? So now I'm supposed to stop talking. 9 o'clock. So thank you so much for joining us today. Hopefully today I think is very detailed practices. Sister D and me just shared too many practices, but hopefully this is the wish that invited you to practice together with us the whole 5 days with joy, peace, and happiness. And at the same time to really have a togetherness, we touch our roots deeply and nourish our roots during this retreat. So let us listen to the other bell, close our eyes, and then breathe in and out with gratitude.